Hi everybody, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to talk about some of the things in my business and in my life as a business starter and entrepreneur, what has benefited me in the long run of my business. And one of the biggest things that I see with people, especially with myself when I was first starting new businesses, I have owned multiple businesses, is that they try to do it on their own. And it is so important to have a mentor, somebody that you can look up to, somebody that isn't afraid to teach. So I'm a licensed cosmetologist by trade. I've had a lot of different cosmetology ventures and businesses that I've started, as well as other things like reselling now and some other things that I want to get into that I'm very excited about, that I'll talk about later in my channel as well as my Instagram. So if you're not following me, go ahead and do so, and you'll be able to kind of walk alongside me towards new business ventures and really watch me hone in on what I'm doing now in the resale world, as well as my field of cosmetology, and also living a debt-free and lifestyle, not just in my personal life, but in my business as well. I plan on being completely debt-free. So as I was saying, as far as having a mentor, I've had a lot of different bosses that were pretty bad. Not only were they bad in business, but they personally did things that I just wouldn't do. And I had a lot of bosses that were also great and really taught me well, wanted to teach, and wanted to personally invest in me as their employee. But I've also had bosses that were very full of themselves, did not want to have anything to do with their employees, just wanted them to do their job and get paid and go home. And as a hairstylist, a lot of times I was a sole proprietorship as an independent contractor. And if you don't know what that means, especially as a reseller, you need to go look it up. If you don't know what a 1099-K tax form is, please go look it up. I just had this conversation with a couple other resellers, and it is so important to know what your tax status is at the end of the year, to know how you should be running and keeping your books as the year is progressing. But I'll talk about that later, but it is different for everybody. So the best thing you can do is do your research. And also when it comes to mentors as well, do your research on the people that you're calling your mentors. It is so important to know where that person has come from and why they're doing certain things that they're doing or acting a certain way that they're acting. And it could be a lot of where they came from, could be a lot of their experiences, it could be a lot of what they believe. So definitely knowing about these people that you are calling your mentors and where they came from and what they stand for is important. And also, you don't have to like your mentor at all. Personally, you do not have to have a personal connection. You could even dislike the person. I have had multiple bosses that, let's just say, they weren't my favorite. However, I respected certain things that they did in business. And I think a lot of times it's hard for us to separate our emotion when we have personal investment in our business. And it's the same thing when it comes to finding a mentor. You have to take your personal investment kind of out of the equation if you're looking to have a mentor just for your business ideology. Now, I also believe in having a business that I can personally be proud of on my morals as well. So if I see somebody like a mentor acting immorally, I mentally make a note, I'm not going to operate my business that way. But even if I wouldn't morally do the same things that they are, I can still count them as a mentor by not doing what they are doing. A lot of the times, what I have learned is by not doing what they are doing. Sometimes you learn more by watching people fail in business than you do by watching them succeed, unfortunately. And small businesses have been doomed to fail because of a lot of different reasons. But watching small businesses fail has given me a push to know what to overcome in my own business. So I get really excited for people that succeed. Don't get me wrong. I am ecstatic for people that are just blowing up, and I learn a lot from what they're doing by just replicating some of the things that they are doing. But in no means is small businesses, especially the resale world, especially every little thing is not a one size fits all. One thing can work for one person and one thing can work for another. We all come from different places. We all have our different knowledge of items, of, the business world, of what we source, what we sell, how we sell them. Everything is not a one size fits all. Reselling is not a one size fits all business. And most aren't. One business model can be completely different from the next, and there is no growth chart that can tell you whether that business will succeed over the other one just by their business model alone. There's so many factors that go into what makes a business succeed. And by studying them and by studying other people, studying other mentors, and having confidence in your business and your business model is so important for the success of your business. When I started my own business, I had a cosmetology business, and I spent a few years in the market for jobs that I really hated, for people I didn't necessarily like, just getting experience by knowing what to do and what not to do. And by really drudging through the drudgery. If anybody watches The Minimalists, that's one of their favorite key phrases is drudging through the drudgery. When it first came to starting my business, I was able to gain some very valuable knowledge about how to properly start a business and how to make it succeed within, not just in general, but within my own market. And I think that's so important as well, is to study your niche, study your own market, really be a master of your craft before venturing into other markets. I lived in a certain area in the South that was very prominent for vacationers. So I looked into tourism in my area. I studied it up and down. I studied who was coming in, who was leaving, I also studied who was spending the money. I studied why my specific niche, which was hair and makeup, why it was succeeding in certain areas for my specific area, my specific city even, and why it was failing in certain areas. And I spent a really long time in that field and kind of working at different places. Don't be afraid to jump around too. Like if you feel like you've learned all you need to learn from this area, go to the next area and jump into that and see. Like I would bounce from salon to salon. And hairstylists are kind of known for doing this anyways. I think like ADD is very prominent in the artistic and creative realm of cosmetology. So it wasn't unusual for cosmetologists to bounce around from salon to salon, and I know that's frustrating for customers, but it's kind of necessary for us to learn the business. Anyways, I did that for a while, and it was strictly because I had my own business model in mind already. And I was going from salon to salon, picking and choosing things for my own model that I wanted to use. And so when it comes to not only finding a mentor that you can learn from and kind of walk alongside, but also picking and choosing for you personally and what's right for your business. And just from experience is the only way that that's possible. You can search over Instagram, you can watch as many YouTubes as you can, but until you actually put your feet to the ground and start running is the only way that you're really going to understand what's right for you. And by experience and growth and some failures as well is the only way that you will know what your business model will look like for the long term. And I'm learning that right now. Next thing I wanted to talk about is failures. I know I talked about it for a little while just now, but you're going to have some failures in business. There's just no way around it. There's going to be some bad investments. There's going to be some bad sales. There's going to be negative reviews. There's going to be just some headaches. And that is part of owning your own business. You don't work for somebody else, but you are always answering to somebody. And that somebody, especially in the resale world, is going to be your customers and the third-party market in which you are selling. And there's no getting around that. And you have to have some personal responsibility when it comes to that as well. Don't treat your customer poorly. The customer is always right. And I know that is not the that most popular thing to say when it comes to sellers, because we get very upset when we're treated badly. But being in the customer service industry, the customer is always right until they are absolutely 100% proven wrong, and even so should still be treated with dignity and respect that you would want to be treated. And it's just like preschool mentality. I'm just starting my kid in preschool, and I'm just thinking of all the things that we learn when we're in preschool. You need to share other toys. So when it comes to business, you have to share knowledge. You have to share your time. You have to give your time away for free all the time. When I first started my first hair business, I was a traveling stylist that did photo shoots and movie sets and weddings and things of that nature. I was giving my time for free in return for reviews. And I know a lot of people give products away on Amazon for free in return for reviews. eBay doesn't work that way as much, but you have to kind of beg people for their reviews and feedback at first. But that is the cost of doing business. And you have to plan on not making a lot of money at first when you're starting a new business. You have to plan on putting a lot of money up front and a lot of your own time, usually 24 hours a day, and then start seeing a return on your investment. The more time you put into it and the more money and the more free stuff you're giving away, the faster you'll grow. But that's not always, you're not always able to do that at first when you don't have the capital to put in. And I never recommend putting things on a credit card or, taking out a loan. I feel like being debt free when it comes to your business is the smart business move. But sometimes that has to be done in order for you to grow to the point that you want to grow. But you have to be careful. When I started a new business as well, around the same time that I did my hair business, I also did a lot of shows, a lot of hair shows. And I was spending a lot of time on travel, a lot of expenses on travel. They were tax write-offs because they were for my business. And I was giving a lot of myself away to these fashion shows and hair shows. And I felt like it was all for nothing at first. And I would get so exhausted and so tired. I had a toddler at the time. My daughter was a toddler. And I wanted to be home more. My husband was in the military. He was gone a lot as well. But I started to see a return of my time and energy within months, not even. People would start to recognize my name, my business name, and I would then be booked a year in advance before I knew it. So don't get discouraged when you're first starting your business. It is discouraging. There were moments where I was in complete tears. Even starting reselling, I'm exhausted a lot of the time, but I know from personal experience in starting my own businesses before that it gets better. You know, the more time, the more energy, and I have to tell my husband that as well, because he gets discouraged whenever he's not seeing that much of me at first. And especially to you mothers out there, we're constantly being pulled from wife to mom to businesswoman, and it can get so overwhelming all the time when you are trying to wear all these different hats and be all this to everybody all the time and answering to everybody else but yourself. It gets very overwhelming, and there were times where my husband was like, no, like, you need to put your phone down, you need to spend time, because I'm on hyperdrive, especially when I'm starting a business. I am on full speed ahead mode. Nobody slows me down. This train is moving whether you like it or not. Like, boom, 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 boom. I'm getting this done. And but it's also important for sanity, for your family, for everybody, that you sit down on the couch and watch a movie with your family with that glass of wine in hand. It is important. And I have to learn that more. I need to take my own advice and really start doing that, because I could be looking at numbers all day on the computer if I had my choice. And another thing is to get outside for your health. Just go for a walk. My husband and I have started to walk at night, and it's been great for our marriage, and it's been great for my sanity, and it's just nice to get some fresh air, just to take a small walk around the neighborhood. It's so nice. So nice. And I also wanted to talk about not just personal investment, but investing money. Investing money in anything, even if it's so for sure that there's no way you can lose money. Somebody out there has lost money doing it. And being in your own business means losing a lot of money. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody that is just starting a business, or, you know, on the fence about starting your own business, or on the fence about growing into a resale business. But you have to understand that you're going to put up a lot of money at first. There needs to be some kind, and I know there's a lot of videos out there that say, oh, you can start it on $100 right off the bat. Yeah, you can. But don't expect to turn around and make thousands of dollars just from that $100. It takes a series of reinvestments, of rework, of trying different things, of growing and slowly growing, because the faster you grow, the faster you're going to fall. If you're not keeping up with what you're doing. You have to, if you're growing fast and you're keeping up with it, good for you. You need to call me, because I need to learn how to do that more. But if you're growing and you're growing so out of control that you can't keep up with it, your sales are going to start to decrease, because your feedback's going to start to go down, because you're not paying attention to what you're doing. And you need to make sure, as you're taking these steps, that you're doing it the correct way. And you have to do books from the very, very beginning. Don't just invest $100 and hope that they make babies and grow. You have to go into Staples, go into Office Max, and go get yourself a bookkeeping journal. And keep track of all your expenses, write down all your profits, so it's in black and white. Because when it comes to money, you better believe that number is going to change all the time. It's either going to go up or down, and you don't want to be the last one to know if it's down. And if you're keeping the proper books, you will know that it's going up or down before it even shows up on eBay's computer screen or Amazon or wherever you're selling. And it's the balance of those numbers that's going to lead to stable growth, not just $100 to $1 million. It's going to be $100, then $200, then $500, then $1,000, then $2,000. And it's that stable growth that in my experience and in watching other people, not just in the resale market, but any business, that stable growth by turning that 200 into 500 and that 500 into 1,000. And the more capital you have to reinvest, the faster you'll grow the fastest, if that makes sense. That wasn't even proper English, but you get my gist. The more capital you reinvest, the faster you will grow. And the more you will see on your results. Just because you're putting more into it. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. If you're doing the right business steps. And you're taking your time and you're doing your research and you're reading and you're studying and you're making sure you're making proper investments for return on your money. I'm a shopper. I love to shop. I will gladly invest money into something I love, but I have to know it's right before I buy it. I'm one of those people that I'm reading reviews, and not just reading reviews. I am reading like every little thing on that product description that I know I'm getting exactly what I'm supposed to get. And then I turn around and do the same things when I list my product. Okay, I'm one of those really annoying people that have to know every little detail about something before I buy it. So what would I want to know on that description? It makes it really easy for me to write into a description when I'm listing things, because I'm that person that bugs you every 5 minutes for a measurement. But anyways, so knowing what you're getting into, doing your research, reading, having a mentor that you can learn from, even if they're doing the wrong things, is so important. And I hope that this short video has added to your knowledge of what to look for, because there's just so much. We're bombarded with information, especially on YouTube and Instagram, about what it takes to start a business, about what I should be looking for, about what I should buy, what I should invest in, all of that. But having confidence in your own knowledge and your own heart and making the right business decision based on knowledge, not on an assumption, is what will really make or break a business. So those are just some key points that I had. I hope that you guys like this video. I know it's not as fun as my haul video or, my lifestyle video, but I'm really focused on honing in on this resale business and making it just that, a business, not a hobby, not, something that I will just be doing for a few short months. I want to be able to do this as I'm progressively growing other businesses and doing other investments. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a like button below and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, as well as more resale videos and saving money videos. Thanks!